Introduction to the Smart Packaging Robot. We will need the PowerPoint viewer later, so let's install the PowerPoint viewer. I do this and I record the installation immediately. Then I press Save and Exit. This is the script that I have just generated using the installation recorder. Now I want to record the uninstallation of the PowerPoint viewer also. I start the uninstallation recorder, press OK, I choose uninstall, I say yes. Let's take a look on the buttons in the installation recorder, which is used for recording installations and also uninstallations. Again, I press Save and Exit. Now let's try the script we have just generated. The installation recorder placed the script in a folder on the desktop. In the folder, we will find the two script files, these colored icons here, and the source file with the setup. I will now load the install icon into the editor by clicking the right mouse button and choosing Edit. Now I can immediately start the script and we will just see what happens. As we can see, the yellow line moves from top to down, executes the recording, and at the same time the PowerPoint viewer is being installed. This worked fine. Once we have tested our script, we can press the Compile button. This will place an executable on the desktop that will do just the same like this script. Now we can close the script and edit the uninstallation. This is the uninstallation. It's very short. We will test it in the same way. We'll now do the same with some other easy to install setup programs and use the Smart Package Robot. First we start with this program. As always, we just drag it on Record Installation. We just click the buttons in the setup. In this case, we want to change the name of the folder a bit. We just add an S and type next. We don't want to associate something. And next. Install. We don't want to see the README file. And finish. That's all. Now I press Save and Exit, and the ready to run script file is being saved in a project folder, in this project folder here. Next, I do the uninstallation, because before I can test the installation, I have to uninstall the program. I choose it, say OK. I do the manual uninstall, not the silent. I say yes, I want to remove it all, and it's gone. Then I press Save and Exit. Now I have in my project folder the setup program, the script for the installation, and the script for the uninstall. In the next step, we will test these scripts. I'm now loading the installation script we have been recording into the editor. To test it, I will now press the play button. As we can see, it worked fine, and I can press the compile button. Compile button generates this executable on the desktop. Next, I want to test the uninstallation. I load it into the editor. I press the play button, and that was it. We saw that the uninstallation also worked fine. I press the compile button. Here's my uninstallation script. Now I copy both these files into the project folder, and the next setup is ready for testing. Install. Uninstall. And everything was fine. What we see now is that the script has already ended because the last button click was here. By the way, if you want to see what any of these commands means, you just move the mouse there and press the F1 button. Then the help comes up and shows you the meaning of this command. This is, for example, a button special click. Now what we do here is we add one more command to make the script wait until the uninstallation is really ended. We just add wpt, also wait process termination, and tell it to use the process ID from the last localized window. This is where we have been pressing the button. That's all. Now we press compile, and we also get our executable on the desktop. Now let's test the whole thing. First, the installation. The installation worked fine. Now let's try the uninstallation. Also the uninstallation worked fine. We will now do one more thing and do again the installation. Now go into the editor for the uninstallation to show you the effect of the command that we have just added to the script. As you see, the script ran into the wait process termination and is now standing in this command, and it will not continue until the process that makes this uninstallation has ended. This way you can be sure that you can, for example, reboot the machine when the script has ended. This was the first small automated native software installation you can do with the Smart Package Robot. I will now copy these two files into the project folder. Let's go on and make some more setups with the Smart Package Robot. As always, I just drag the setup program onto record installation. If I want to change the path where it's going to be installed, I can click into here and can just change the path using the keyboard. I avoid doing this with the mouse. While this will be recorded, it's not as good when it's replayed. So, changing paths, just click inside, use the keyboard. Then click Install. I want to show you something. If you look now here, you will see that the changed path is recorded here, while you can still change it later in the script. That's all. At the end I press Save and Exit. This is our installation script, and as you can see, we have the changed installation path in the top line, so you can change it anytime to another path. What is this, by the way? Let's take a look. I have marked it with the mouse and I'm pressing now the F1 key. By pressing F1, the help pops up and shows you an appropriate part of the help file. Here you see that this will be evaluated to the program files folder on the target machine. This means if you write this in your path instead of this, you don't need to worry what language the machine has, because on the target machine the system will evaluate to the right program folder. There are more special folders in the system. The most important one is this one and the path. Path is the folder where the script itself is. So let's make the uninstallation also. That's all. Now let's test our scripts. It worked fine. We can compile it and the uninstallation. It worked fine, we can compile it. I move it into the project folder and we try the executable and the uninstallation. And once more, because it was funny, and it worked fine. We can put it into the ready folder. And let's make the next on our work plan, this calendar program. I drag it on the record installation. This time I select a language, German. Let's take a look on the recording. As you see, we have recording number 2 from this time, and we have selected Set Combo Item Deutsch. Okay, aber I thought about it, I want to have English, so I change it to English again. Let's see how the recording looks. As you see, the recorder didn't do a new recording, but he deleted the old wrong recording and instead made a recording Set Combo Item English. So this is something you can change in the settings. The recorder has a lot of settings, what he is doing to optimize your code and to put things together. For example, combo items or other items that you have erroneously pressed. In this case, the settings for this is somewhere here, merge double combo commands. If you click inside the recorder, of course, this is not recorded. Now let's go on with the setup. I press OK. I record also the path. I don't want to run the calendar. After pressing this, I take a look in the recording if I really have a BTC 0 here. 0 means the checkmark is gone. If there is a 1, the checkmark is set. I will show you this. If I press here, we have another 1, checkmark is set. Here was the 1, checkmark was deleted. Here's the 1, checkmark is set. So in this case, I will just remove the last recording. This is the recording number 9, because we don't want the checkmark to be set. I will press the back button. The back button just deletes the last recording. Let's do it one more. So now we are with recording number 7, and I just remove the checkmark. This is how to use the back button. And we are ready. Save and exit. Let's do the uninstallation. That's all. So here is our project folder. I load the installation script in the editor. I start it. And it worked as expected. We can compile it. I load the uninstallation into the editor. It worked as expected and I can compile it. I put the both executables into the project folder and we can test them. The installation worked fine. Uninstallation worked fine. Once more because it was funny. Okay, let me make a small change to show you that you can anytime later make changes in these scripts. Here you could change, for example, the path where it's going to be installed. Here you could change if the setup program will be included within the executable or not. And here you could change the language. Also I could write Deutsch here. And let's do one more thing. Let's include the executable into the package. I will show you the difference. If I press Properties here, you see the package has 916 kilobytes. The installation file has 251 kilobytes. It's a small file, so we will get just a little bit over 1 megabyte if we have added it to the package. So what I do is I press the Shift key on the keyboard and I drag the setup file just into the editor. Then I get this command here. It looks green like a command, but it's not a command. It's an include statement. And include means include files or folders, as you can see if you press the F1 button. So we include this into the executable. Now we must do one more small thing. Normally, the script will start the setup program from the same folder where the executable itself is. This means this executable will run this setup here. So if we have the setup integrated in the package, we must tell it, the robot, by saying, here, don't look at the executable location, but look in your own path. That's all. Now I can recompile it. Here is it, and if we look at the size, we see that we are now just a little bit over 1 MB, and that's because we have included the setup in the package. Let's try it and let it run one more. Installation. Okay, and of course this time it's not more working because now all buttons are in German. Let's take a look what we do in this case. We have changed the installation language from English to German. Before the button said OK and next, this time the button says Weiter. What can we do to be able to handle with the same setup English as well as German? Let me first kill the robot that's already running and waiting for a button with the name next. What I will do is I will just add here und or weiter. What is und or? Und or is a so-called pattern. It's a search pattern. You can see there are more search patterns which enable you to make more complicated text patterns for the search commands. You can even make small formulas using search patterns. Mostly this is interesting if you have to handle several languages, for example English and German. So let's try if it works. I make a starting point, that's a green arrow, by clicking with the left mouse button here, and I make a breakpoint here again by clicking 3 times with the left mouse button. So let's see what happens. Here I told him, take the button whether it's in English or it's in German. And I could add more. If I have more language, I would just add or something. There is one more change. If we look at the top window text, we see that the name is here Setup, while the name is here Installation. So we need to make one more change. In this way, I will make the change different. I could now write und/or installation, but I will not do that. I will just remove this last part because it's enough to give a unique part of the text to have the right window be found. Okay, as we see, it works. And in the same way, you could now go through the setup and internationalize it. So you would say und/or Doppelpunkt annehmen. This is this button here. And again, remove the setup. And then this would also work. Stop. Of course, I need to remove this start point first, because the robot will always start at the first start point. So, as you see, it worked. We are in the next form. We'll not continue this. This was just a short way to show you how to internationalize a setup. This has to be done manually. You cannot really record it. You record one language and then you add, using a pattern, the other languages you want to support. What I will do now is I will remove all these marks by pressing clear, start and breakpoints. And then I will tell him English again. Note that small and large writing is normally no difference. Also I could even write it small altogether if you don't tell him by a pattern that's called do caps. Looks like this. That you want that small and large writing should be controlled. So regularly you can write small and large, and it's even okay if you omit a letter. Let's see if it works. So now here you can see why I always put the editor to the very right side, because this is the only way that it's not above the setup that's running. And the uninstallation also working. Hierher verschieben. Ja. Again the installation and the uninstallation. Again, we did it. And let's take the next thing. It's called store thing. I drag it on record installation. I click next. I accept the agreement. I look that we got a 1. Next. Set, I can change the path here if I want. I want a desktop icon. No quick launch icon is okay. And install. I don't want to launch it. Save and exit. Next I will do the uninstallation. You know already how to go. That's why I can take the silent uninstall now. Did I get the window? No, I didn't get the window. I will not save the uninstallation because I will do it one more time. I will show you why. Exit. If I press exit, it will not save it in the project. So we have the installation now here. And I load it into the editor to see if it works. our changed path. We make a desktop icon. Don't launch it. And it worked fine. We can compile the executable. So the uninstallation, we will do it again because I want to press one time into the window that appears. I will show you why. Press OK, I make silent uninstall, I make OK, and I press into this window. You see it? Now I see uninstall progress sourcing. So I caught the window. Let me say it like this. I press save and exit. Let's take a small look into what the installation recorder has recorded here. So what he says is, sorry, the window disappeared before installer could record it. Please try again, move the mouse a bit more slowly inside the window. What I did is, I moved the mouse while I pressed. And that's why he recorded a mouse left down and a mouse left up. We don't need all this. I can remove it. What I want is only this search top window here, because with this search top window we get the process ID from the process that's doing the uninstallation. And now I can add wait process termination gata PID. This. Show you the command. Wait process termination halts script execution until a specified process has ended. You can also give a timeout if you want to react if the process is hanging, for example. So now I think this will work, but we will see this in the editor also. Let's now try the move here. Let's now try the executable from the installation first. It works fine. And now let's try the uninstallation. Works fine. We can compile it. So move here. And once more, because it was funny. And the uninstallation. Once more. And the uninstallation. Okay. If you want, you can let them run in a circle. Oh, let's do this for a moment. You can take an editor and drag the file inside and drag the next file inside. And then you say be here, and we make a loop for $count 1 to 10. Next. So what we told him is to repeat these things 10 times. Let's see what happens. Loop. And the uninstallation. As you see, he will now automatically test if the setup is really stable by repeating the whole thing 10 times. This way you can test your script and let them run overnight while you are at home to make sure they are really running absolutely reliable. And if you have enough, you can still break the script. That's what I want to. Maybe 10 was a little bit too much. I will stop it here. So just a little note. Why did I change the original? Look, I get a exe. Why did I change it to exp? The reason is very simple. The exp is called execute blocking. This means the script will stay in this line until the process we have been starting here has ended. If I would make exe, the robot will start the process and immediately start the next process. But we can't do the installation and uninstallation at the same time, so this wouldn't work. That's why I changed it to exb execute blocking. Okay, and we have the next thing ready. We have one more on our to-do list, this program here. I drag it on record installation. I click next, accept the agreement. I don't want to see the README file. Oh no, let's see the README file. Okay, I did a wrong click. I corrected the click. Now we don't want this later when we replay the installation. That's why I use the back key again. I make this away with the click readme and I remove this one. 1, 2. And now I just leave this and I make finish. Save and exit. We later remove the readme file with the separate command to show you how this is done. Okay, this is the readme file. You see it appears automatically after the installation and we want to have it closed. This time we want to close it manually. How is this done? It's done that you just click the N button, N like also 2 steps. Place the cursor below the last recording. See, the last recording is before the set exit code. This is the error level we get from the script to the distribution system. We place the cursor here. We press N. Now we are in recording mode, and then I just press here into the top window. And this is what I get. I don't want to have the click. I just want to have the window located. Then I say close window. Let me see if I need a parameter. If omitted, the actual window is being closed. That's just what we want. Let's try if it works. It works. So I remove my start point and that's it. Let's make the uninstallation. This time we take the normal, or we take the silent, and we take the normal. Yes. Okay. Save and exit. So, here's our project. Let's start with the installation and test it. Now we want to close the README file, and that was it. We can compile it and try the uninstallation. And can compile it, move it to the project folder and test it as executable. and the uninstallation and the installation and what's this? And the uninstallation. You may sometimes get something like this while testing. This program installed correctly. If you think it will happen, you can include it in the script. But normally, if you reboot after the installation, this will also be gone. Compatibility assistant. So let's test the setup. And the uninstall. And because it was funny, one more time. And this also. Now we want to do one more thing. We want to add a cover over it, so you can't see anything from the installation. This is done very easy. If you don't know which command to use, you can just go here and write cover. Then you come to the write command. These are the cover commands. There are a lot of them. In this case, we will just use a black and white cover here and turn off the cover at the end of the script. So again, we are testing the cover first from the editor, but I think I could compile it immediately. This should work anyway. So as you see, we don't see anything from the setup, just the screen turns black and white. And what you see is below here the setup. And it takes a while. And then you see the color comes back and the program is installed. So we can uninstall it quickly. Also the uninstallation can get a cover. In this case, we will make another cover that's halfly transparent. Also you can look through while the uninstallation happens. The installation will be completely behind the cover, the uninstallation not. So installation. And now the uninstallation. See, the uninstallation is behind the cover, but it's only half covered. We do it again because it was funny. And the uninstallation. Okay, and we have the next thing in our ready folder. We have one more program on our to-do list for now, and this is a screensaver. Screensavers are a little bit difficult because some of them do not have an uninstallation. As this is the case for this screensaver here, but the installation is as always. Drag it on record installation, choose the desired parameters and just record your installation. So, and then we are already ready to test it. What we see here is that the script seems to hang at this button click on the last button. I will let it run one more time so you can see it again. So it hangs on the last button. So this can happen from time to time. Mouse clicks are not all the same. There are different sorts of mouse clicks and the robot knows a lot of them. What you do in this case is you choose another mouse click. The button click Spezial therefore has the necessary options. You press the F1 button, you go to the button click Spezial, and you can see actually it uses the L mouse click because you see an L here. So what you do is you choose just one of the other mouse clicks. You could even close the window if you want. But in this case, we will just choose the mouse click with the name M because this is what will work in this place. And now we can test it using the start point. And it works. Now I remove the start point. We try the whole script again. And we can compile an executable, place it in our folder, and run the executable. One more, because it was funny. So now one more thing. You may get such a window like this. If you want to include this in your script, it's not a problem. We can do this in the following way. In this case, we use a special program that's called PopUp recording. And I place it here. I press now with the right button. So what I got is this line here. And let me see the rest of the line. Yeah. So now I want to test this line. For this I use the single step. 1, 2, 3. I single step until I get this line here. And you see this line removes all of these pop-ups if they appear. What I add now is, because these pop-ups appear after the script has ended, I need to make a rest for, let's say, 4 seconds. So I wait 4 seconds if such pop-ups appear. In case they come, they will be clicked away. In case they don't come, they don't make us any trouble. I make compile, and we are ready to test. Once more. The script is protected against double running, so you cannot run it 2 times at the same time. While you can remove the protection, there's no danger. You will just hear that beep if you run the script multiple times. So we can run it as often as we want. This script will install fine. See, it waits 4 seconds if this compatibility assistant comes. If it would come, it will immediately be removed, but now it doesn't show up anymore. So, and we have another program in our ready box.